Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all the wonderful people joining us from different parts of the world today. So, welcome to the webinar, a guide to using live chat to grow your business by 10x. In this webinar, we're going to be talking about what are the best practices of implementing a live chat to grow your business. And not only that, we're also going to be discussing about what are the best conversion optimization practices that you can do on your website to go ahead and then increase your sales revenue. Now, just before we get started, a little bit of an introduction about me. I'm your host today. My name is Ambi Murthy, and I had a bunch of activities at Zoho. Most of them are on the growth marketing side, on the partner acquisition side. And then today I'm going to be explaining to you about the various ways in which we're going to be using a live chat as a growth hacking tool to increase your business. So let's jump right in. So let's look at some of the popular channels for shopping or buying something. So before the internet came into existence, we all know that we used to go to a shop and then shop in person. And then we also know that sometimes you phone into a shop and then order something. Something can be B2B or even B2C. And then there was also a time where you would actually write a physical snail mail to a company and then order something off their shelf. And we're going to keep this very, very interactive. And then we're going to have polls running right through the webinar. So there you go. The first poll is there on your screen right now. So what is your most preferred mode of shopping? Is it in person? Is it over phone? Or is it online? And again, it also depends upon the kind of goods and services that we're going to look into. But at the same time, even if you're buying anything from a book that you want to read to the clothes that you want to wear for a party, so which one do you prefer? Is it in person, over phone, or over online? Okay. So I'm going to give you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Boom. Okay, I'm going to close the poll and quickly share the results with you. There you go, right there on your screen. So you can see that online wins hands down, 74%, followed by in-person, 26%. So thanks to everyone who voted on this poll. I'm going to quickly hide the results and then get back into the webinar and then quickly move on to this specific question. So everybody agrees that the most really nice experience is shopping online, because you not only get to know the product from different perspectives, but you also get to know the reviews of the end users and then how they have been using it. It's very helpful in making a decision. But that being said, being on a website and then shopping is quite distracting. So if you're shopping on a third-party website, there are ads running, there are co-promoted products, and these are kind of like good and bad at the same time, because it creates a lot of distraction and it also creates a lot of doubts in the mind of the buyer. But what is the solution? The solution is very simple and straightforward. Each customer has got a certain online behavior, and you don't have to study each customer manually. That is where softwares like different softwares come in, and not only that, you could also see that there are people on your website who are at different stages of the buying behavior. For example, there are people who are like hot prospects on your website, and then all that you need to do is just engage with them in the right way through notifications, through live chat, and then they can just buy from you right away. But there are also people on your website that they're like kind of warm. All that they need is a gentle push and then move them to hot prospects and they can buy from you. And this model is kind of applicable across different businesses and different websites. You can have a B2B website, you can have a B2C website, but everything that you do revolves around how well you can go ahead and then engage website visitors, prioritize them, and talk to them according to the different level of prioritization. Now, that being said, let's quickly move over to live chat. Now, why live chat as a vehicle of quick website visitor engagement? Before that, let me just get a quick pulse of the audience that we have in here. So there you go. Do you have live chat on your website right now? If it is yes, go ahead and then say yes. If it is no, just go ahead and say no. It's pretty simple and straightforward. And if you're evaluating a solution, and then that is also a good option that you're at the right place, because we're going to help you understand the techniques first and then decide if you really need a live chat or if you just will off one without one of it. So I'm going to give you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Boom. Okay, I'm going to close the poll and share the results with you. There you go, right there on your screen. Amazing. So 71% of the people on call today, they actually have a live chat solution. And other people, I'm thinking that you're evaluating and then looking to see what's the best you can do. Amazing. So I'm going to, thanks to everyone who voted on the poll, I'm going to hide the results and then get back into the webinar. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly go ahead and then say, so this is something that you would see pretty simple and straightforward, right? Like sometimes you go on a website and then you're going to say that, okay, now that I have included a live chat widget on my website, why are people not talking to me? And it's something, sometimes it looks like this, because that you look into this thing and then you're going to say, hey, it is just that I put a live chat out. Why are people not talking to me? So what we're doing is simply adding a live chat is not good enough. There are best ways of using it and then implementing it. Okay, now here you go. This is the one getting to the meat of the presentation. So best practices for running a live chat. Now, the first and the foremost thing that really helps in running a live chat is that you need to have a lot of empathy for the person who's on the other side of the conversation. Okay, so think of the different positions at or the different situations at which a customer would actually want your help. Okay, so is it during a purchase, is it during evaluation, or is it during they want more information? So have a lot of empathy for the person. For the person who's reaching out to you. And not only that, there is also another important question to it, important angle to it. Not only you should understand, but at the same time, you should also understand that what is the problem. So if it is a post sales conversation and then the customer comes in with a very inflated mindset, first acknowledge the problem. It's always okay to understand and then say, hey, this is a problem, and then we're going to solve this for you. And what helps even more is to be reassuring. Okay, reassuring as much as in real life is good online also, because the more the reassuring you are, it's also going to help you understand that, hey, there's another person from a customer's perspective, he or she is going to think, hey, this person has really acknowledged the problem, and then giving me the assurance that this is going to solve. So empathy is the first most important skill that's going to help you be better at live chat. Now, the second thing is kind of leading to the second thing is almost kind of leading to the next one, is like using positive language, but not exactly like the one a little bit aggressive that you see on the GIF. But let's say that somebody comes in and then says that, hey, I have this ticket number, like how can can you help me with this thing? And if it was attended, there was this live chat, if it's attended by a different colleague, and then you cannot just say that, hey, I don't know, that's not my job, but rather let's be a little bit more, be positive about the whole thing, and then say, let me find that out for you, and then can you please be on hold, and then let me quickly jump in and then pull your records up here and then let you know, and I'll let you know how this thing works out. And the same thing applies for even when you have situations where there is something that like a few things, if you're an e-commerce store, if you're especially in the fashion industry, so you look at something and say, hey, this thing is selling like hotcakes, and then people want this to buy from you. Let's say that it's about an all new, maybe a fidget spinner or something, and then people call in, and then instead of saying that, oh, we don't have this item, so we better hang up, that's not the real way. But what it should be is, hey, we have ordered this thing, this is coming up in the next 2 weeks, and then you can place an order. In fact, you can even collect an email ID of people who are on the waiting list, put them on the waiting list, and then say, hey, we really care about your business, and then we really want you to come back at a later point of time. So the second point is use positive language. Okay, now so this is the most common mistake that every salesperson or a support person makes. Okay, live chat can be not only used as a vehicle for support, but it can be also be used extensively to go ahead and then convert into a sales mechanism also. And you will be very pleasantly surprised that sometimes on the customer end, I come in. So let's assume that you are a frustrated customer coming in, on the sales rep kind of dashes ahead and then goes to the solution without actually hearing you out. Okay, the best thing to do is be very open and then ask open-ended questions instead of giving them two options and then saying, is it your problem because of this or because of this? Rather, you should be asking, if you could clearly explain me what is the issue with that, or issue that's causing this problem, or the issue with the shipping, or issue that you're not able to find the specific information on my website, I'll be able to help you better. So ask open-end questions instead of closed-end questions. Okay, thirdly, now this is my favorite part. So this is like one of the Connell said that most live chat agents do. It is like what happens is, so we kind of try to multitask, and even psychologically, our brains are not wired to do something like that. Okay, so do not handle too many chats at the same time. Okay, just make sure that you can only handle we even have industry analysis that says that only 5 chats per agent. And then the problem is if you have too many chats open, it is also not really good because it kind of like very, very taxing on the agent. And if you're doing the chat yourself, so what happens is that you kind of like lose focus, and then you kind of like one conversation or bad conversation rubs off on the other good conversations. So do not handle too many chats, just like our friend who's trying to handle too many things on the car washing activity. Okay, fifth one is as simple as it's very, very simple, but it is the most important thing. Communicate. Just communicate. Just like asking a question is extremely important. Communicating, and then it is to be have a very honest and then upfront conversation. For example, when somebody calls in and then they're like kind of infuriated because some shipping got delayed, or they were so if you have a SaaS company and then they're calling in and then they're kind of saying that your servers are down, what do? It's very, very simple. Be honest, give them a very practical timeline, and then say that, hey, we will be up and running in about an hour, and then we're going to go ahead and then say that, hey, we're going to be very, very upfront about this, and then say that, hey, in an hour we're going to be up and running, so until then, please be a little bit more patient. And not only that, you can also don't keep customers waiting without telling them that they're going to be on hold. For example, what would be a really good thing to do is, if you're going to go on like sleep mode or something, to go ahead and then search for information, so just tell them, communicate very clearly, honestly, and precisely. It is like giving an information, giving any message, or asking them to wait. Tell them that if they're going to be on hold, even on chat, for the next 3 minutes until you figure out this information from your database, tell them that very, very clearly. Okay, and moving on to the next one. Now, this is something that most of us get annoyed on about what happens on any chat website. So, do not close a chat prematurely. And this is the most annoying thing about using live chat. Like, people come in just when you start having a conversation, and then when you're asking from a customer's perspective, think of it, he's already frustrated. And if you're going to do this thing, and then once the initial question is out, do not close it prematurely. So the agent side of the thing is to say that, hey, we are running multiple things at the same time, and one chat might just slip through the cracks. But that's not the case. One customer who is not really, really happy about happy about the service that he or she has got, they're going to go on social media and then take it down. That's the reason why we hear all those funny chat messages, call recordings of companies where the customer service has not been really great. Now, what happens is, the best thing to do is, if at all you're going to close a chat prematurely, just transfer it to another agent. Most live chat softwares have that feature. And not only that, you can also go ahead and then say, if only close the chat when you're confirmed with the customer. You can always ask them saying that, hey, do you have any more questions? Is it all that you have? So go ahead and then talk to the customer, confirm there are no more questions left, and then take it forward. Now, moving on to the next question. So we all know that we are quite forgetful, and then we kind of do the same mistakes now and then, again and again. So the best thing to do is, once you have gone ahead and then solve that issue, about it can be about shipping, it can be about solving a technical problem, make sure that you provide a transcript to the customer. Okay, from an agent perspective, it's really, really, really helpful. Why it helps is that sometimes when people kind of like, they don't know how to reset a password or something like that, they just don't have to come and chat with you again. They just look at the transcript. It kind of becomes like an internal knowledge base, and then since the transcript is emailed to their inbox, they can just do a kind of like search on the inbox, and then it immediately pops up saying that, hey, this is what we need to do. So kind of like always make sure that you send a transcript, which is really, really good from the customer's perspective. On the agent perspective, it is also interesting because you can always say that when people come and a chat comes in, most of the live chat softwares, you could go ahead and then say that, oh, this is the person who's coming in. So Kelly is coming in, and then these are the top three things that her system had issues. These are the top three things from an e-commerce store perspective that she had issues. So you would always know that what are the reasons that this person has got problems previously, and then you're going to be more contextual about solving the issues. So always provide a transcript of the entire conversation that you have had. Okay. Now, that kind of like brings us to the close of the first part of the webinar, and this is the next part of the webinar. So first we talked about the different ways in which you can engage them. Now, here are some practical tactics on how you can increase conversions on your website. First one. Now, this is a pretty interesting thing, and there's a tightrope walk right now. So think of it in such a way that where this is like proactive greetings are like intelligent triggers, and then so this is like nice pop-ups that come out on the website, like when you're doing a lot of conversations. For example, if you're on the website and then stay there for 3 or 4 minutes and then contextually send a pop-up saying that, hey, how are you doing, how can I help you? So but at the same time, we are walking on thin ice here. So I know websites who are like really, really aggressive, and then they kind of put out this information really, really, really soon. And then what happens is that people come in the moment they land on the website, and the next thing is, and they're going to be like, hey, I'm XYZ. And then do you want to know more information about the product, which is not a really, really good thing. Rather, what is a good thing is to make sure that you give the website visitor enough time to browse the information by themselves, and then you go ahead and then take a put a trigger out, say that once after 2 minutes you send a trigger saying that, hey, how can I help you? So timing is everything. Moving on to the next one. So proactive chat scenarios, we kind of need to look into this thing very, very clearly. So what are the different scenarios that you should consider sending a proactive conversation? So I have listed down about like 9 here. So you can also come up with your own. But here is one thing that you can look at is time on site. So when you look at something like when people are on your website for more than like 3 minutes, so then you need to go ahead and then send a conversation. And the next thing would be is, let's look at what page that people are on right now. If somebody is on your pricing page, and then that's kind of like a very, very important page on your website, and then you need to reach out to them proactively and then say, hey, we need to go ahead and then talk to this person. So consider the page that person is in. And the next thing is returning visitors, people who are coming back for more information on your website or looking to buy other products on your e-commerce store are really, really, really important, because returning visitors kind of constitute to more than 50% of your overall revenue. So think of it and then engage them. And time on page is pretty much like you can say that somebody's on specific page for only more than a minute, go ahead and then engage them. And you can also do it based on a specific geolocation. So anybody who's coming in from, let's say, Pleasanton, California, and then I can just talk to them, San Francisco, California, just send them a different message. So you can do that. The same thing, you can do it based on the number of pages someone has visited. So someone has visited about like 3 pages on your website. Now they are more engaged. Now you can send out a pop-up saying that, hey, looks like you've been looking for this information. You can also look at the page progression this person has gone through, and that's a good thing. And this is also another important thing. You look at what is the source that someone is coming in from, and then you can kind of tailor the message accordingly. So the source that you can look into is, for example, somebody is coming in from Twitter, you can send them a different message. Somebody is coming in from Facebook, you can send a different message. Somebody is coming in from Google AdWords. So that's the next best practice, is that, and I have seen this thing happen so many times. So people should use a very simple pre-chat form. Okay, a pre-chat form is something that you just put out so that people fill in like basic information like name, email, and then start a chat. But usually I've seen companies that have like a huge questionnaire, like more than anything above 5 questions is also an absolute bummer, because you kind of like go ahead and then kind of people, yeah, you sending out a message that you're not like super approachable, you're going to ask a lot of questions uh, even before we could start a conversation. So we have a we have a question that says, do we get a copy of the presentation? Don't worry, you not only get a copy of the presentation, you're also going to get a 40-page ebook for free, which we have put out that has all these techniques discussed. So you don't have to worry about taking notes right now. You can just relax and then listen to the webinar. Okay, so use this information to nurture leads. For example, your form is something like what you would nurture. So think of it as a place where you would collect email ID of prospects. Okay, so this email ID of prospects is which you can always use to send a drip campaigns. You can also use them to promote upcoming events. So the idea is to use a really simple web form. Okay, and so these are the three rules that I would usually do it. So keep them very short and simple, no more than three things. And what it helps you is, if you get this information, it also ensure that only serious customers who want to go ahead and then start a conversation, rather than somebody saying that, hey, I'm here to sell you something, so why don't you buy from me? Not like that. And it is also, and like I said, you can create email lists. It's a very good form of going ahead and then promoting upcoming events and then using it for drip campaigns and all that. Now we have a quick poll that is coming up. There you go, right there on your screen. So how long do you think a customer will wait before you could go ahead and then answer them before they could leave your website? So how much time do you think after the chat has been initiated? So do you have 10 seconds to respond, 30 seconds to respond, or do you have 2 minutes to respond? Okay, just think of what would be the first response time. Okay, so when somebody on your website initiates a chat, so how much time are they willing to give you? And then I'm going to share the actual number that based on different studies which we have put together to tell you what is the actual number that people are willing to wait before they get the first response. So I'm going to give you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, boom. Okay, I'm going to close the poll and share the results with you. There you go, right there on your screen. So the truth is, customers are willing to wait. No, let's say that 10 seconds, 55%, 30 seconds, 43%. 2 minutes, only 2%. Okay, thanks to everyone who voted on the poll. Now let's get to the actual answer. The actual answer that we have is, it's actually 10, not 30 seconds. Okay, so that is the idle waiting time, and customers are not willing to wait more than 30 seconds to actually get a response. So make sure that when you get a question, and that's the reason why it kind of ties back to the original idea that we said, that do not handle more than 5 chats, because it kind of like brings down your response time. So 30 seconds, no more than 30 seconds, that you should make a customer wait for an initial response. Okay, so that's one of the best practices. Now, how to speed up your response, right? I cannot just be giving you a problem and then say, hey, this is a problem, deal with it. Not like that. So there is something called pre-written replies, or something called a knowledge base. So that are like canned responses, and then go ahead and then use canned responses. Okay, and then it's put a hashtag, and then you can pull those responses up. So use pre-written replies to engage your customers. And whenever you're like super busy and then handling more than 5 chats, transfer it to a different agent who's available. So that in fact helps the overall experience of it. And this is also something really important. You can kind of like train the agent or train yourself in a way that you'll not handle more chats, and then kind of like be very clear and conscious in all your responses. The more precise you are with your responses, it kind of speeds up the response time also. So we have a quick question in here. Estella has asked, will you be showing us how to configure those canned responses? Yes, I will be. Towards the end of this, we have a very small, we kind of want to keep this super educational. So we're going to only be discussing best practices, but we have a short product demo for 3 minutes towards the end. I'll show you how to do that. Moving on. So we also have displaying messages that are unsent to the agents. So as you could see that if you could kind of like, there are messages that are not sent, and then you kind of need to make sure that you display enough the messages if they're not unsent. So it also gives them more time to think about their response. So the best thing to do is make sure that if there are any messages that are unsent, display it to the to the agent so that they have a fair idea on what message has been delivered or not. And then here is the other thing. It is also again common knowledge. Okay, so concentrate on having a really meaningful conversation. As much as you want to automate the initial response, do not automate responses more than 3 conversations at first. So there are bots that can do it right now. In fact, we'll also show you how to do that. But do not yeah, love suits. So build a kind of rapport with the customer and do not go ahead and then play to their interest and then play to your audience and then have meaningful conversations. So the moving on, we have something. Uh, so what can be? So here is a quick checklist. So if you have a long chat, it necessarily doesn't mean that it was a quality conversation. So have conversations that are short, precise, and then kind of a study that we did was if the conversation ends in 20 exchanges or 20 messages, that's kind of a sweet spot. And then most of the customers end up being really, really happy about having no more than 20 messages. And if it is a sales chat and then if you send an initial message, you still get a response, but you kind of feel that this customer is kind of like disengaged or doesn't want to participate, do not push them. Okay, let them go. It is as simple as that. It is like in real life conversation, you would walk up to somebody and then you kind of like start a conversation at a workplace or anywhere at an informal setting. And if the person is not interested, we just kind of like move away to the next conversation. So use the same rule here. If the customer is not interested in engaging in a conversation, do not kind of like push them to have a conversation and then let them go. Now we're going to open kind of like a dichotomy here. So the first sixth one is boost profits with upsell. Now this is quite interesting because every it kind of ties back to the conversation that we had earlier. We talked about studying a specific pattern. Okay, every customer's got a certain online pattern in their buyer behavior. So if you see that they kind of like buying products A and B, and a natural progression of buying something would be C. For example, if you buy a MacBook Pro, and the next thing you want to see is if they're interested in buying a MacBook case for their laptop. So think of like products that play really well, and then upsell things without being too salesy. Here's a quick poll, easy question. Does downselling, kind of saying that you really don't need to buy this thing right now, is it hurt your revenue? Has it ever hurt your revenue? Yes, no. Just simple question. So if you ever suggested, sir, madam, you don't need this product and you don't need not buy this thing, has it ever hurt your revenue? So go ahead and then answer this question for me. So then I'll quickly go ahead and then share some interesting statistic that we have about downselling. So I'm going to give you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Boom. Okay, I'm going to close the poll and share the results with you. There you go, right there on your screen. 66% of the people said no, while 34% said yes. So I'm going to close the poll and then get back into the webinar, and then I'm going to show you. So, in fact, we have found out that the relationship with the customer just gets better if you're downselling. Okay, so what had happens is it might kind of like a short term loss, but it kind of like you kind of leave an impression on the customer's mind. So this person is going to be thinking, hey, I talked to this guy before, and then he kind of like actually did not hard sell me on this thing. And in fact, he even pointed me to a coupon code that got me $10 discount on this thing. And people are going to come back to it. And this is as a lasting impression. So downselling is actually good for your business. So you should consider it for the long-term revenue. Now, this is the most interesting thing, that ask your customers to be engaging with you on social media. It can be on Facebook, Twitter, just like I did at the end of this, at the beginning of this webinar. So you can, the positive vibe or the kind of the network effect that comes in from a really positive conversation or an upbeat conversation that we had about, and it happens a lot of time at Zoho. People have a really nice conversation about, or they had a quick they got chat in, and then if they had a really nice conversation, if a support rep made their day, they're going to be very vocal about it and then give a shout out to their followers, and especially if it's someone with like 100,000 followers. So it's going to be really awesome. So get them social. and then it kind of like gets the word of the mouth, mouth marketing done, and that is the best kind of marketing that we can ever get. So think of this too, and then ask them to be very very social about the experience. Okay, now this is quite interesting, and then you really need to go ahead and then have not a lot of sophisticated chat system. You should learn to leverage the kind of data, kind of historical data of a specific visitor. You need to know what pages they have built come in and then visited before, what products they've been interested in. If it is a software company, you need to know what products they have bought before, what software they've been actually interested in, what is the page that they're getting the information from. So what happens is, it's kind of like you can go ahead and then tailor the conversation depending upon whoever is on your website and based on the history of their visits to your website. And here is where having, if you, especially if you're a Zoho CRM user or any CRM user, it helps you to integrate your CRM, because your CRM is like a powerhouse of information. It has all the data. What is the first time this person came in? What is the source of the lead? When was the last time we had a conversation? And it has all the information, and integrating it with a live chat kind of like even gives the product more data, and then more data to work on, and then makes it a more personalized experience. And then small things like addressing the person on your website by the name, and I'm going to be like, hey Ken, how are you doing today? That's going to be a really nice thing, right? So leverage historical data. And this is this is something you need to consider on a ship basis. So kind of like, if your business is truly global, and then you cannot say I'm going to have some a live chat between 9 a.m. Eastern to 5 p.m. Eastern. So you kind of need to kind of extend and then go ahead and then give go the extra mile and support your customers. If required, there are also other companies that just give you chat agents, so you can own the chat software, but they kind of like give you chat agents, and then you can just look them up and then see if it's a good option to have any offshore kind of people on a different time zone that can actually help you in extending your live chat hours. So next one is, this is quite interesting too, and we kind of like did this as a A/B testing experiment. So the number of times a customer would actually on your website would go ahead and then start a conversation goes up by 30 to 40% if you display the picture of an agent. It is just like something that it kind of gives the person on the website a feeling that they're talking to a real person. So display the picture of the agent, necessarily not like the picture, the one that's to your right, but a real picture of the person goes in a long way in building trust. And then it kind of like starts the conversation with a human touch. Perfect. And now this is something that needs to be looked into. Pretty interesting thing. Now, what's going to what you need to what you need to look into is, think of it like identifying like crucial places on your website. So you need to you need to look into that and say, and then say, is there any information that is kind of like turning off the customer in a bad way? If there are like, you're adding extra charges to your customer's shipping order, if is it turning them off and then saying, hey, initially the total value of things on the cart, if it said it's going to cost $20 and then shipping cost another $7, and then it's going to turn people off. So be upfront and then say if this product is applicable for free shipping or not. That goes in a long way in going ahead and then helping you understand the customer, and also making sure the sale happens. And it also makes sure that it also brings up your credibility. And if it's on a support conversation, like the guy to your left, do not say that, oh, your system is not working, try turning it off and on again, it will work again. No, go deep dive into the problem, and then give actual actionable solutions that people can actually use. Okay. And the next thing is, so this is quite an interesting thing. So if you look at the online behavior, especially in e-commerce sites, like 70% of customers kind of like abandon their shopping carts with some product on it. And the reason can be like, they found out that this thing is costing even more, and then they found out a cheaper alternative. And then just try to understand your checkout page or your pricing page on your website is the most important page. Okay, so be very proactive, use proactive greetings to go ahead and then see why they are leaving your website. Okay, so just like this guy is bailing out in the last minute, do not wait for the last minute to stop everything. Just go ahead and then make sure that you identify actual customer issues before you actually somebody would abandon the cart. Okay, now these are the common reasons why we found that people are leaving the kind of like abandoning the cart or not completing the purchase. So you need to look into and then say that they leave because 42% need more information. For example, they might be like, hey, I need this thing to be delivered by this specific date, and they don't feel that they got this information from you before they can actually sign up for something like that, and they're going to be like, okay, now I need to kind of like close this thing because I didn't get the information what I wanted. So here is a quick tip: if you need any help, like if they're going to be needing any help, they're going to ask it within the first 30 seconds. And if they're inactive for more than 30 seconds on a checkout page, proactively reach out and then say, hey, it looks like you have some issue. Why don't we go out and then we'll also uh, go ahead and then help them out. And you can also engage them offline. Since you already have their emails, reach out via email and then say that, hey, you're checking out this software, checking out this product, and that looks like it's kind of like did not complete the purchase. Like, well, why don't we just connect offline, probably even get on the phone if you need any assistance. So just making sure that you're readily available and then help is only a call away really helps a lot. And moving on, so this is kind of an offline engagement, but that's not kind of like directly tying to live chat, but it's also a really nice important practice that you need to do. So even if they do not connect with them on live chat, or ideally if they're kind of like closing the entire website, and there's no way that you can get them on chat, but the best thing to do is collect the email ID during when they start a conversation itself, so that you have the email ID, so that later you can look at, okay, these many people came to my pricing page, they did not sign up for the trial. Reach out to them in a very contextual way and then offer even an extended trial, a promo code. And email is very important for engagement, so collect it and use it wisely, but no spam. Okay, and tell them, it's always good to tell them that that sometimes we get these emails, hey, we will willing to get your business back, what can we do? I know we screwed up, but how can we actually help you be better at what you're doing, and then our software will actually help you be better at it. Okay, tell them very honestly, and leave a line. It also helps them to know that, kind of like picking up from the spot where they left, help them understand that, hey, they don't have to go through the hassle of selecting something, coming back to the cart and all that. So let them know, or have the settings enabled on your website, like they can come back anytime, apply a code or something, and then get started right at the place where they left everything. Now, this is quite interesting. And if you offer live chat in multiple languages, you will kind of intrigue. You'll be intrigued that the kind of information that people are willing to go ahead and then say, hey, kind of prioritize what are the top languages that people speak. And you don't have to worry about like speaking the foreign language at all, because live chat softwares right now offer real-time language translation, and you don't have to copy paste information outside. So in the same live chat box itself, people, you can go ahead and then start a conversation, and the person on the other side, if this person is speaking to you in Spanish, you can type in English, the person will get that message in Spanish. And finally, A/B test. So there is not one glove that fits everyone. So not one method that works for everybody. So do an A/B testing of your message, your proactive greetings, your website. So keep testing different messages and then kind of figure out that. So make sure that if for example something as simple as saying hey, and instead of using hi, so what message that got you more responses. So try to keep going ahead and then testing different messages, and the one that gets you the most number of responses, go ahead and then use them. And then you'll kind of like each business is unique in its own way. So you need to kind of look at what pages that people respond to. Do people respond to your pricing page even more? Do the people respond to your features page more? Or what kind of messages that your audience resonate with? If it is more of a B2B, then it's a formal setting. If it's going to be business to consumer, it's kind of informal. So kind of get the vibe of what language works and what language does not work, and that really helps. And moving on, so, what are the A/B things that you can test? One of them is greetings, and you can also look at what pre-chat forms that people fill to get a chat started. Are you looking at two boxes, three boxes of information? And this is also pretty interesting. We also seen that psychologically, people would be more likely to start a conversation with lively colors on your chat widget. And you can also talk about what are the different, like I told you, the messaging. If you have different variables in the chat, you need to look into that, like triggers, messaging, and all that stuff. So these are the things that you can consider for A/B testing. And this is the final part of the presentation, followed by a small demo right now. So you kind of like need to understand that the buzzword right now is growth hacking. So think of it, growth hacking is like reaching a lot of users and then getting a lot of sales with little investment in marketing. Okay. So help them create different campaigns with live chat, like collecting emails, using visitor data to be more and more proactive to send notifications. So it kind of like use it like a growth hacking tool, and then it kind of like help them be your brand advocates. If the best thing that you can give them is to go ahead and then say, hey, I kind of like talked to this guy, and this is the best thing that I have had the experience online. And if you, just like Zappos would leave us lasting impression on like kind of like this, like super driven about customer satisfaction. So we can always aim for the best. So think of it like giving a positive experience on your website, and the word of the mouth is the best marketing you can ask for, and customers will always return the love to you. Now, and it kind of leads to the next thing, kind of like if you give them a really good experience, that's the reason why the biggest growth hack is referrals. And if you really had a positive experience, and then just like, for example, Uber does a really cool job about this thing. So every time you complete a ride, they kind of like tell you, hey, if or you can always get this pass by referring friends. So you kind of like get it like free rides or $20 discount, a 20% discount on the next ride by using this code. And you can also use this code and share it with friends, that you can also bring in other people into using the app, product, or service. And you can also try this on a small basis. So think of it, you just had an amazing conversation over chat, and then they're like kind of like emotionally, you have the emotional bank account to ask that person that, hey, can you help us by referring this business to a different person or your friend. It works most of the time. I have personally tried it and it have given me great results. So ask for a referral. So it is the biggest growth hack that you can have. So so this is, I'm going to get to this in a bit by showing you the demo. So this is the demo I'm talking about. So right now we talked about all the different practices that you can use to engage website visitors, and also the best practices of implementing live chat, and also implementing conversion techniques on your website. Now here is a tool that will help you to increase your conversions by 10x, which is nothing but Zoho SalesIQ. I know we have about like 13 minutes. I'm going to quickly run in here and then tell you what is Zoho SalesIQ. So Zoho SalesIQ is the tool that you can use to implement all these nice, wonderful hacks that I showed you to go ahead and then start a real conversation. Now, this is a demo website. Imagine this to be a website, and I need help from everyone to be a part of this demo. So the more the people can come in, it will be really nice. So please click on the link in the GoToWebinar chat box, and then quickly come in there to this link. And then, so once you get Sales IQ on your website, you will have a chat window like this, and then people can come and then start a conversation. And this is how it looks inside Sales IQ. So this is the actual Sales IQ window. So you could see that a bunch of people coming in from different parts of the world, and these are actual people on my website, and these are the people on the webinar right now. So I can just say that, hey, so this is how hello, Mike. So I have accepted a chat. I mean, I'm going to have a chat. I'm going to just be here in a bit, and then I'm going to just see who I can talk to right now. And then so we have someone who is coming from Seattle, Washington. They're from the States, and then they're using a Chrome. Hello. I will be glad to take your order, sir. Just give me a minute. So, hey. Hi, just give me a minute. Please do not start a chat conversation. I just want to finish this thing right in here so that. Okay, so this my good friend is from Minnesota. It tells me that this person is from Minnesota, and then they spent about like 53 seconds, and then a completely new visitor and the geolocation of the person. It also tells me what is the landing page on which this person has landed, and also if this traffic is direct or what is the source of the traffic. And if this person from Minnesota, if you're listening, it's a good time to have a conversation. Can you try moving to different parts and different pages of my website so that I can show them in real time that how we'll go ahead and then start a conversation. So you're on the home page. Can you try moving to a different page, like the pricing page, the contact us page or something? So this is like a real-time feed that comes up. Let me see if someone is actively moving. I saw this person. Okay, this person is actively moving. So you could see that from South Carolina. So you're on the photography page. And then as you keep moving to different pages, we will show that in real time and then say that, hey, okay. And okay, now this is what I was talking about. So someone started a conversation in Spanish, and then we kind of like going ahead and then saying that there's a Spanish language detected. I click on accept, and I'm going to say hi. How is the Sales IQ demo? And I send a chat message, and this person would have got this message in Spanish. So can you please confirm that you got this message in Spanish on the other side? Thank you. So you could see translation happens in real time. And there's also other cool feature. So I can ask them, how is the day today? And can you just type the message without clicking on the enter button? So I can show you that, hello, Sam. Okay. So just type a message. Do not click on the enter button. So you could see that it's kind of giving me a live preview of what this person is actually typing on the other side. So that's a cool thing to do. Now we have CRM integrated. So you can also push information into CRM. So it gives in a lot of contextual information. You can convert it as a contact lead. And not only that, you can go ahead and then track all the information that you had in live chat inside CRM. It tells you just browsing, or it also leaves a copy of that conversation in a PDF format. So this is kind of like a centralized hub of where you would have all these conversations. Now, coming back to setting up intelligent triggers in SalesIQ, you go to settings and then you go to automation. In automation, there's intelligent triggers. So this is what I was talking about. So you can actually set a rule and then say that when someone lands on your website, and then I can say number of visits to the website is equal to 3, and then I can send a chat invite from Ambi, the message, hi, how can I help you? And the timing is the most crucial part. I can say 30 seconds. So likewise, I can create multiple rules. For example, I can say when somebody is coming in from a specific country, so I can say anybody who is coming in from the United States, just send me this specific information. So I can go ahead and then do it for different countries, also group them together. So this is a pretty interesting thing. And other than that, even though we have a bunch of features, I don't want to jump into it too much, but this is more about educational content. So someone was asking, how do I set canned messages? So canned messages is something like pre-programmed messages, which you would automate a conversation after the initial conversation. You go to visitors to my chat section, put a hashtag. Instead of typing out the entire message, I can say, hi, is there anything that else I can help you with, or is there anything I can help you? So there you go. So instead of typing out the entire message, just go to canned messages and click on add. It'll go ahead and then help you add an actual message. Okay. So that's how canned messages work. And there's a question saying, Do you convert from Samantha says that do you convert as a contact or lead or only a contact? Oh, you can do any all the actions that you do. So you can go to chat and then say you can also create a lead or create as a potential. Both can be done right from here. So both options are available with this integration. So I think that's we also have a bunch of other things like chatting. If you want to see a list view, yes, we have that. If you want to prioritize with website visitors based on activity, for example, I can say, show me only people who are actively moving on my website based on last activity time. I click on apply, and only the most active people are going to be inside. So if you want to see, move yourself into this innermost ring. So our good friend, can you please try moving on my website, or anybody try moving on my website? You'll be immediately be pushed into this specific ring. So the most active people will be in this specific. There you go, Keith. Thank you so much for trying. Other than that, we also give you Vista history, a list of everybody who came to the website. Not only that, we'll also give you information like what was the most frequently visited pages, which source sent you information, and we can also send them email. And if you missed any chat, yes, you can come back. You don't have to worry about being available all the time. So we'll also give you that information. So you also have chat history and enter history of all the conversation that you have had previously. And someone has asked this question, will you be so Paula asked this question, automatic open hours? Of course, there's something called business hours. You go to settings and then you go to company, so you can basically have a calendar and then say these are the only hours through which I'll be during which I'll be available, and the chat box will pop up only during that time. And we also offer reports, very very extensive reports, which you can look into and then see from which country is sending a lot of traffic. And also you can also look into other information like how many visitors have been on your website, how many have been chatted online, and you also have tracking information like how many visits, how many contacted, and how many responded. And also you can see what are the total page views and total visitors. So you contacted this many people and you responded. So we have all this information that's really 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 interesting, and we can do all the A/B testing and all that. So think of it like a fully three things that the best things that SalesIQ can do for you is it can give you like a real-time visual map of the website and like what people are doing on your website. You can automate your first response with intelligent triggers, and it gives you a list of every single person who came to your website. And you can also look at information and then say, hey, show me people who came in only from Canada. Okay, for all the people who came and left your website. And then you can go ahead and then look at people who only came in from Canada. You can even send them emails post this thing, and also gives you reports about going ahead and then looking at actionable data that you can get from these conversations. Okay, so that is it about the quick demo. Now coming back, we just did the demo. So thanks to everyone who participated. But I'm going to go ahead and then take questions as long as you want me to. So feel free to keep asking your questions. So we have an extended Q&A session right now. So Glenn asked a question. Yeah, do you receive a copy of this webinar? Yes, of course you do. Let me just quickly go ahead and then share that information with you. So you can sign up for SalesIQ from the link that I will give you. So let me just quickly go ahead and then share it on chat. And not only that, it's in chat right now. You can sign up for SalesIQ from there. And if you scroll right down to the bottom, you will see an ebook that says best practices for live chat. So this is actually the webinar, the ebook format of this webinar. You can go ahead and then enter this email ID, and then you can go ahead and then get access to the copy. So yes. Okay, next question. Let me quickly, it is coming in from Estella. So I think I kind of covered it, like showing canned messages. And the next question is from, got it. And just addressing new visitors by name by tracking in CRM and info keeping makes them feel stealth. I don't think so, because do it contextually. Like I said, if you would go ahead and then say that, hey, I have this information, and then you're kind of like using that information to the benefit of the customer to help him or her reach to their destination easily. So use it in the right way without being like too pushy, and then people would really really appreciate that you kind of like went ahead and then gave them a better experience on your website. Okay. Uh, Paul, Paula has asked this question, setting up open hours. I think I have answered it. Yeah. So Josh has asked this question: is Sales IQ integrated with WooCommerce? Of course, yes. Any website that supports a JavaScript, you will be able to run this. And in fact, we do have plugins, a bunch of plugins. So let me just quickly show you all the integrations. You can just go to the integrations page, and then you'll be able to see all the different CMS that we integrate with WordPress, eBlogger, Tumblr, Wix, Weebly, all these powerhouses in the CMS side. Of course, WooCommerce too. So you can just sign up and then get the Sales IQ code on your website. Next question. Estella, so when you missed a chat, do you respond with an email since they probably closed your website? Yes, of course, 100% right. So you missed a chat, you have the email, right back to them once you're back. So yes. Okay, here is a really interesting question. Does Sales IQ be able to identify or track people even if they are not made contact with this, and if they're unknown? The answer is yes, you will be able to. So you'll be able to see all your website visitors even if they are not on your CRM, so you don't have to worry about it. So let's kind of answer. And Paulo has this question: can you make the email address essential in the pop-up, or would that be a bad practice? So it kind of depends on the kind of traffic that you get on the website. I would ideally say that do not make it a default, because people kind of like what you can do is, if you make it a default for people who are coming back, for returning visitors, they are like more keen in giving their email information. But do not try to make it default for people who are first time on your website. Okay. Sam has asked this question: where can you add visits to CRM against potentials? Can't find it. Oh, I can actually send you the step-by-step process to it. So just send an email to ambi@zoho.com. I can help you with the link. Okay. And Jean has asked a question. That you have a problem with business hours. Oh yeah. So please write to support@zohosalesiq.com and we'll help you sort it out. Okay, so this question is coming in from Mark, and he says that I saw on the Zoho site that there is a countdown before you have a chance to send the question as an email. It might be more of a support issue, but at least the countdown lets you wait longer. Is it also available? I'm not sure which. Oh, okay. Probably we are just showing you the countdown timer to show you what's the maximum waiting time that you have before a sales rep is available or a support rep is available. So I don't think it's a support issue. It's more of a feature that we have done to go ahead and then cover the best questions that we need to take, or we do not want to overload our agents. So okay, so someone has asked this question: where can I get a copy? Yeah, you can. So I have shared the link in the go-to webinar chat box. Okay, so you can quickly go ahead and then click on the link. It says zoho.com/salesiq. You click on the link, and then it goes to this specific page, the Sales IQ homepage. And once you go to the Sales IQ homepage, you scroll all the way down, and then you see this link that says best practices of using live chat. Click on the link and it will give you a copy of this ebook. And we also are recording this webinar, so we'll be sending this recording within the next 2 days to every single participant on call. Thank you. We are really glad to know that, Samantha. Samantha just said, I really love the bubble look. Thank you. Thank you so much. There are more cool things coming from us. Watch out. Okay. Keith has asked a question: is SalesIQ Desk Sales IQ different from Zoho Desk? Yeah, of course, yes. It is. Zoho Desk is more of the support part of it. Sales IQ is a chat component, so you need to subscribe to it separately. Okay. Anything else that I would need to address today? Questions? I'm going to be available for the next 10 minutes. And Samantha has asked a question where I will be notified if we are not logged into a CRM. I'm always away on my computer to track or miss a chat a lot. Oh, you don't have to worry. It's because you don't have to be logged into your CRM at all because SalesIQ is a different application altogether. And tops, we offer apps for desktop, mobile, as well as laptop, and we also have them for both as free apps on the App Store as well as Google Play. So you can be traveling or even chilling out on the beach, but still taking out chats if required. Okay, so that's something really, really, really good. So, next question. Cool. Okay. Okay. Any other question? Nothing much. So this Zoho have an onboarding walkthrough app. New users can walk through of an app site. Oh, we have an actual person who does that. So if you need help, just reach out to. I'm going to put that email ID in the chat box right now. In the GoToWebinar chat box, it is support at Zoho SalesIQ.com. So you can go ahead and then send out a request, and then one of our support reps will get on call and then actually walk you through the onboarding process, get you up and running, even help you get the code on your website. You can get the code on your website in 3 minutes. I'm not making this up, it's just 3 minutes. So go ahead and then try that. Okay, Keith has asked a question. I'm referring to the chat in the desk and sales IQ, and then they seem to be different and would help our team focus on sales IQ chat for sales reps and tech support and focus on desk chat. Yeah, both of them are different. And then, in fact, there's a way in which you can have this integration. Sales IQ is directly or seamlessly integrated with desk. So you can create departments. So, for example, when somebody, if you are able to see my screen, look at this part of the screen. And then when somebody is actually if they want to start a conversation, and then before they start a conversation, you can go ahead and then do this thing, and you can say that I'm going to have a department, and then say this is a support question, put this to the support department, and this is a sales question, put this to the sales department. You can handle it via sales and support departments, so that is possible. Okay. Is there something like chatbot or AI plan? Yes. Watch out for an announcement from us coming right up. Okay. Thank you. Very enjoyable and informative. Oh, thank you so much. Really appreciate your kind words, Paula. And okay, so Sam has asked a really interesting question. Any tips on identifying visitors with just IP on sales addresses on Sales IQ? Let me see that we have a document, in fact, on it. I'm just going to quickly pull this up. Let me just quickly go ahead and then give you the document. That's Sales IQ identify website visitors. Okay, so it's something that's very, very simple and straightforward. So I just shared this link with you, and then you will be able to go ahead and then read what are the different techniques that Sales IQ uses to go ahead and then identify website visitors. Use kind of like as a roundup of all the different techniques. So go ahead and then use it really well. Gene has asked a question: can we sync departments within Sales IQ? And yes, of course. So but both products come from Zoho, and then we integrate seamlessly. Okay. Uh, Kurt has asked a question. Are you suggesting that we work from the beach? I was just using it as on a lighter note. Ideally, that's we don't. I don't suggest that you do it. I'm just saying that you're chilling out and then you have something really, really important going on. So just use it. I'm not saying work from the beach. I'm just using it on a lighter note. Okay. Sam, can you send your email address again for instructions how to add potentials to CRM? Oh, no problem. So the email address is in the GoToWebinar chat box. It is support, SUPPORT, support at Zoho SalesIQ.com. Cut. You got me good there. Thank you. Okay, so Estella has asked a really interesting question. There's a sales IQ link to Zoho Social. If you want to look up someone social media profile while chatting, we don't have that integration right now, and honestly, it is not something that we are working on right now. But we are coming up with more interesting things like. But it's not in the near future. But we are working on things like identifying company names of new visitors, if possible, based on IP and other information. So social profiles is something that would gradually. It is in our roadmap, so that's the information that I can give you right now. Okay. So, Gary, I was looking for a walkthrough for my own website. Yeah, it can be done. Just send an email to the one that I just shared, and then we'll be able to go ahead and then get this information over to you. So, okay. Any other questions? Any other questions? I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, Sam has asked if we know the visitor, can we tell Sales IQ? Of course, you can. For example, let me just quickly show that to you. You can come in to the whenever after you're connected with someone, you can just come in and then say that you can go in here and then add first name, last name, email address, and save, and kind of like so that kind of the system remembers this person forever. So you can also tell the system if you know a certain person. Okay. Oh, I thought of like I'm kind of like overrunning the session, but questions still keep coming on and on. And example around the phone, yeah, if you're able to keep the person on the phone and still identify them by directing them to a specific page and then asking them to a certain action, and then yes, you can still do that the same way I updated the information that I just showed that to you. Okay, any other questions? I think I pretty much covered everything. Yeah, yes, Sam. Sorry, only if they are chatted. If they are not chatted, you will not be able to update their information. Any other questions for the day? I think that's pretty much it. I don't see any other questions. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. So don't forget, we do have this contest still running, and then you can walk away with, in terms of pricing, you could see that we have the professional version that's up for the grabs today. So you should be able to go ahead and then take full advantage of it. So there you go. We have a freemium version, good for free users. Basic $17 a month for 3 users, and this is the one that we're giving out for free for 5 of the participants on call. So for the best tweets on social media, so that's $53 for 12 months, and then if you do it annually, and then $116 for 10 users. So you can choose a plan that really works for you. So thank you so much for being in a wonderful audience. I really had a great time interacting and presenting to everyone today. And we're going to be having more and more of these educational webinars coming up. So watch out. And then until next time, it's Ambit who is signing off. Have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. Thanks.